Hello, everybody. So today's lecture is going to be about the main stages of the formation of philosophy. So the second lecture will be dedicated to the topics such as three Eastern major schools of philosophy: philosophy of antiquity, medieval philosophy, Renaissance, the Age of Reason, and the last one is the modern world. This is a brief outline of our today's lecture. The ancient Indian philosophy. So we are going to start with the Indian philosophy first, of the Eastern philosophy. The Indian society was divided into four castes. They are Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. As for the Brahmins, they are involved with the mental work. With regard to the Kshatriyas are the people who do the military service. Vaishyas are agriculture and crafts and trade, and the people who are involved in the activities of agriculture, crafts and trade. And the last one is the Shudras. They are the workers who do the menial work. So this is the ancient Indian philosophy's brief explanation. So as for the ancient Chinese philosophy evolved from practical politics and was therefore concerned with morality and ethics rather than the nature of the cosmos, because the peculiarities of the Chinese philosophy is that they are more focused on the morality and ethics rather than the nature of the cosmos. For example, uh, one of the movements of the Chinese philosophy is the Dao. In order to understand or to comprehend the perception of Dao, it is necessary to know how the ancient Chinese viewed the ever-changing world. For them, the changes are cyclical, continually moving from one state to another, such as from night to day, summer to winter, and so on. The process of change is seen as an expression of Dao, and it leads to the 10,000 manifestations that make up the world. So this is the short, brief explanation of the Dao. For the Dao, so this world is ever changing, is not stopping, and is ever changing. This means it moves like continually, and therefore, therefore, they are how to say they are by moving or by moving continually, they are refreshed, and they are transformed, taking like a changing from one state to another. So another movement of the Chinese philosophy is the Confucianism. So Confucius believes that virtue is not something heaven sent for the ruling classes, but something that can be developed or cultivated by anyone. Confucius believes that it was a duty of the middle class as well as the rulers to strive to act with virtue and benevolence to achieve a just and a stable society. For Confucius, for Confucius, the stability of society and the dominance of jazz is very important. For the people, because the Confucius people, the Confucius belief uh, is based upon upon the harmony, upon the peace, or upon the stability of the society. When the society is stable, and the people who live or who reside in the society is happy. So this is the main concept of Confucius philosophy. Another Eastern philosophy is the Buddhist philosophy. Buddhist philosophy is different from other schools of philosophy in India. This is primarily because Buddha never really focused on the metaphysical and cosmological understanding of the universe. Rather, his concentration was more towards on the suffering of people and the and the and the way and the way and the solution and he was concentrated on the solution to the suffering and how to overcome it. Therefore, he proposed or he offered like four noble truths in order to overcome the suffering. The first noble truth is that this life is suffering. So we have to understand. He says that we have to understand that this life is full of suffering. Second noble truth is that the cause of the suffering is our desires, desires. Third, the cause of our suffering is our selfish desire that arise due to our attachment to our desires. So when we are attached to our desires, and desires leads to the suffering, and therefore he says that this life is suffering, and the cause of our suffering is our selfish desire. So right now we are moving from Eastern philosophy to Western philosophy. So one of the founders of Western philosophy is Socrates. Socrates is often referred to as one of the founders of Western philosophy. This has been called the Socratic or dialectical methods. Dialectical methods is uh, 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 is the proceeds that serve as a dialogue between opposing views. Socrates believed or asserted that understanding what we are is the first task of philosophy. Gaining of knowledge rather than wealth or high status is the ultimate goal of life. So this is a this sentence belonged to Socrates. Another representative of Western philosophy, of the founder of Western philosophy, is the Plato. Plato, he is known for his innate knowledge idea. Plato talks about objects in the world around us, such as beds or dogs or any objects, animals or plants. When we see, he like provides a good example. When we see a bed, he states, "We know that it's a bed, and we can recognize all beds, even though they may differ in numerous ways." Plato further argues that it is not just a shared bedness exists, but that we all have in our minds an idea of an ideal bed, which we use to recognize any particular instance. He asserts or he claims that when we recognize the object around us, he says that all the objects, the idea or the essence of all objects are implanted in our minds. Therefore, we can recognize. He says if the essence or substances or foundations of objects were absent in our mind, he argues that we wouldn't be able to recognize the objects around us. Therefore, he is known for his innate knowledge idea. Another founder of Western philosophy is Aristotle. Aristotle, however, he is against innate idea. Aristotle claims using our sense, our reason, we understand what makes a dog, what makes the object around us, the object. He says we find the truth from the evidence gained in the world around us. As Aristotle claims, when we are born, our minds are like inscribed tablets, and any ideas that we gain can only be received through our senses. At birth, we have no innate ideas, and by putting forward this claim, he shows that he's against the innate idea. So right now we are coming to the Saint Augustine concepts or Saint Augustine like conception. So he was famous for his like suggestion or for his like good conception for good concepts regarding the freedom of human beings. Therefore, I have chosen the Saint Augustine. Uh, Saint Augustine was especially interested in the problem of evil. He says, if God is entirely good and all powerful, why is there evil in the world? Later on, he says he believes that although God created everything that exists, he didn't create evil because evil is not a sin, but a lack of definition of something. For example, he provides a good example. The evil suffered by a blind man is that he is without sight. The evil in a thief is that he lacks honesty. So the second concept of Augustine, so he asks the question why God should have created the world in such a way as to allow there to be this natural or and the moral evils or deficiencies. He's so right now he's going to answer this his question by saying that human beings are rational beings. He argues that in order for God to create rational creatures such as human beings, he had to give them freedom of will, so freedom of choice. So this means that human beings are rational beings, and we have been given the freedom to choose between good or good or bad, right or wrong. Having freedom of will means being able to choose, including choosing between good and evil. Augustine also suggests a third solution to the problem, asking us to see the world as a thing of beauty. He says that although there is evil in the universe, it contributes at the end, it contributes to an overall good that is greater than it could be without evil. Just dark patches add to the beauty of a picture. So right now we are moving to the Renaissance or the Age of Reason. The Renaissance age, a cultural rebirth of extraordinary creativity in Europe. The Renaissance began in Europe in 14th century in Florence. It was it spread across Europe, lasting until 17th century. So the peculiarity of Renaissance age, it was a movement that viewed humans at its center, not God. Because before Renaissance, the theocentrism was dominant. So it lasted from 5th century to till 15th century, and the theological doctrines or dogmas were dominant, and the God was the first, and the God and there was idea or conceptions that God intervened in everything, and every university colleges in any university colleges, all the subjects that were taught during that period of time, God God was involved in every topic, and in Renaissance age, uh, right now there was a shift toward not God, toward human beings from God. Then after Renaissance, the rationalism or uh, the rationalism emerges. Descartes' investigation of the question, what can I know, led him to a position of rationalism, which is the belief that knowledge comes from reason alone. So this became the predominant belief in continental Europe for the next century. At the same time, a very different philosophical tradition was being established in Britain. Following the scientific reasoning espoused by Francis Bacon, John Locke came to the conclusion that our knowledge of the world comes not from reason, but from experience. But from experience. After rationalism comes the modern world. Towards the end of the 19th century, philosophy once again reached a turning point. Moral and political philosophy had become entirely human-centered. For example, during this period of time, Karl Marx declared that religion is the opiate of the people. He proposed a radical new approach to finding meaning in life, one that involved casting aside all values and traditions. And his concepts or his approach to finding a solution to the problem, to the problem that appeared during that in that period of time. He proposed that uh, the stability of society is based on the material value, on the material value. The material value. Therefore, he declares that religion is the opiate of the people. And we will discuss this in our seminar deeply, profoundly. The concept of Karl Marx, So he, at the end of our lecture, I want to ask you. So, can human change? Can human change? Can human change himself? So there are two choices or there are two like movements or approaches with regards to the change of human being. So first, it depends from social environments or from spiritual life, and second one, human life depends from social status or from philosophical views. So this is the question for brainstorming. So, dear students, thank you very much for attending, for watching this lecture, and see you on our seminar. Have a good day.